look at my surroundings. Look at the bright blue sky above me, the blue and green tennis courts behind me, and the smile on my face. Now, keep my surroundings in mind and close your eyes and let me tell you a story, if you will. It was a cool fall day, just like the one today, and 6-year-old Katie, that's me, was screaming and crying on these exact tennis courts. Screaming, pouting, crying, flailing her legs, screaming at the top of my lungs how much I not only hated tennis, but how unlike my mom, my dad, and my sister, I would never play tennis competitively. So, from that cool fall day 11 years ago, you may have already guessed, quite a few things have changed. Not only do I no longer scream and pout on the tennis courts, but I actually look forward to playing, and it's the highlight of my day every day. So the question is, how could I possibly love tennis this much after having such a strong hatred for it? It's the constant challenge, the pure joy the sport brings me, and the adrenaline rush you get when you take a step back and realize how much progress you have truly made. First of all, tennis is a constant challenge. Now, although many think of tennis as an easy sport, which it can be when played recreationally with your friends, it is a constant physical and mental battle. Over the summer, I played, on average, 5 to 6 days a week for about 6 hours a day. Between the dehydration, the sunburn so severe that I could barely sleep at night due to the intense pain, and the constant self-doubt, the lack of self-esteem of my coaches constantly telling us that we were not our best selves, that we weren't trying hard enough, and that we could simply do better. My life was filled with doubt and worry. It took away all possibility of me having a normal social life and many other things. So, despite all the struggle I was presented with, I stayed optimistic, and I realized that those things were all challenges that could be turned into something positive to not only make me a stronger player, but a tougher individual. Now, after talking about the struggle and hardship this sport has brought me, I will go on to talk about the pure joy that tennis brings me. As an extremely busy person who puts an abundance of stress on herself, to not only do things, but to do things well and perfectly. I try to only do things that make me happy and bring joy into my life. Tennis is one thing that has never failed to do these two things. Now, maybe it's the fact that you can hit the ball really hard as a form of stress management, or the fact that I just love the person I have become from playing. This sport still brings a smile to my face, even if I have a bad day, I double fault, or even lose a match. That importance of being happy, of having that one thing in life that can never fail to bring happiness and positivity. That's what tennis is for me, and I know everyone has it. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to find it, but I know that I have it, and I know you can too. The last and most meaningful reason that tennis is and will always be my favorite sport is because of the happiness that overcomes me when I take a step back and look at the amount of progress I have made. My coaches and I often videotape me doing a certain skill, whether it's forehand volleys, backhand volleys, or serving. And after a few months, we bring the video back for my coaches and I to look at, to remind us how much progress I have made and how much I can make in the future. I think this is such an important thing because sometimes we get filled with self-doubt and self-worry that we're not making improvements, that we're going backwards, we're taking steps in the wrong direction. But you have to remember to look brightly and happily upon all of your accomplishments. So although with tennis I may not improve instantaneously, when I do, it is such a magical feeling that brings a smile to my face, and it makes all my worries go away. With all this said, I think you can come to a strong conclusion that although 6-year-old Katie was not a fan, the strong reasoning behind that hatred is that I was blind from the constant challenge. Blind from seeing that the constant challenge of the time commitment and amount of pressure put on you actually taught me to stay optimistic. That the pure joy of the sport has taught me the strength of perseverance, and the amazing feeling of seeing self-improvement in yourself can remind you of how far you've come and how far you can truly go. After all this said, I can say with 100% certainty that tennis is my favorite activity. Thank you so much and have a great day.